Ladies and gentlemen, we have a first for Yu-Gi-Oh! Sins. With that intro, we have entered Season 3, and with that epic song and the new intro, we are starting this episode with one sin-off, and it's all thanks to you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you!
Surveillance sensors.
Enter Noah Kaiba. He doesn't mean much yet, but you know he earned the last name Kaiba by building this phony underwater Death Star he insists on throwing at our faces. Just saying, it's 2 seconds in and we already got some tech mumbo-jumbo. And if the Diet Coke Death Star wasn't enough, now we have this thing that wants to be Arsenal gear so bad.
At last, Seto. I'll finally reclaim everything you've stolen from me.
Cryptic villainy motives.
First, Merrick's servant Odeon took the fall when Merrick angered the Egyptian gods.
I have one here from Glace of the Snow who gives this one a sin for blame redirection, saying that it was Odeon who angered the gods and not Merrick. And I agree, it was Odeon who summoned the fake Ra and was subsequently smote for it. If it was Merrick who angered them, it would have been Merrick who got blasted by Zeus's lightning bolt, yet it wasn't.
Merrick's gotta be stopped before...
Not only is this blimp experiencing turbulence, but it's almost as if there's a localized earthquake in the air for this blimp to be this shaky.
Hey, what was that? Wake up, guys!
They snipped out this scene from the sub where Joey attempts to wake up Duke and Tristan.
She's got you. She's got you.
And that sucks because 1, it's hilarious, and 2, what's the problem with this? It would make for so much more funny slapstick comedy involving this trio, which are fan favorites.
It appears someone else has an interest in bringing chaos and misery upon these fools as well. And I know this is the doing of yet another secondary antagonist because I'm the main antagonist and henceforth able to detect these things. Okay, time to disappear for 20 episodes. I have one here from the League of Gamers who points out that Merrick was somehow able to stay on the blimp during the blimp quake earlier. And I think that's hilarious because imagine how short and anticlimactic that would make the conclusion of this Battle City final.
That pile of junk?
Ah, so now we know why Greg Abbey got the role for Yusei. Just the way he says the word junk, it's like they knew it was going to be iconic one day.
That pile of junk? Junk warrior!
Someone's hacked into the mainframe and changed our destination coordinates.
Well, here's hoping it doesn't take us right into a filler arc.
There's no way that's true! The security system on this ship is state-of-the-art!
But take a look around you, Mokuba. Can't you see that despite your state-of-the-art security system, the blimp is indeed being hacked? Like, if you were in the sinking Titanic, would you be saying, no way, this is a state-of-the-art ship and it's impossible to sink?
Greetings, duelist. There's nothing wrong with your television set.
Season 0, Kaiba, what are you doing here? Also, Noah bears a striking resemblance to Seto despite them not being related at all, because reasons?
Seems like some kind of underwater fortress or something.
It's huge!
That's what she said.
And it's still growing!
That's also what she said.
What is it?
That's also what she said. No, I'm just kidding. The sin here is that Kaiba strains his voice way too much in some instances, like right there. You'd think Eric Stewart was taking a hard dump while delivering some of these lines. What is it?
As soon as we land, I'll make that little brat pay. I want first crack at him. Easy, he's just a kid.
Duke, our main dice roll.
Dice roll!
Man, yet again, being weirdly the most level-headed person here.
There's more to that kid Noah than meets the eye. There's no way some prepubescent punk planned all this.
Kaiba calling Noah a prepubescent punk when he's literally one himself.
Time for you and your friends to exit the ship.
Is that so? What if we don't?
I'm afraid at this point refusal is not an option. Thanks to my stun phasers.
Stun phasers? Yeah, no, these are bona fide rootin' tootin' turrets with bullets! Which is really dumb because the dub didn't even go through the trouble of changing the color of the bullets. At least make them blue or something to make it fit this whole stun phaser thing. Not to mention that this thing being a stun gun makes no sense. Noah's trying to get them all off the blimp. Stunning them would do the opposite of that.
Noah, I'll be coming out to you alone. Any questions?
Noah responds to Kaiba's question like the average Texan would. And believe you me, nothing says no on this planet like a hail of bullets.
This invitation is for duelists only.
You're no duelist.
Well, actually, Tristan is a duelist. A bad one that hardly plays and likes trash vanilla monsters, but that's still a duelist.
I sense a great deal of turmoil and destruction ahead. Perhaps the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Except that he actually isn't, because if Noah succeeds in body snatching and or killing these guys, you can kiss getting revenge against a Tem goodbye.
Surprised to see us again, Kaiba?
Oh, look at that, it's the return of the 5 goofy goobers from Season 1. Excited to see them? Yeah, neither am I. Also, I guess these 5 said, okay men, in position! Remember, smallest in the middle, tallest on the sides. Oh, we are so gonna intimidate these kids with this.
You sure this isn't real? Because it sure smells real.
That was me.
Okay, haha, but Tristan just admitted he his pants.
That brat Noah can't intimidate me with cheap virtual illusions like this.
Kaiba just said to Noah, nice, but your game doesn't have any collision detection, in the most badass way.
Kaiba? Did you just change your outfit or something?
Relax, it's a cheap copy. I used to create virtual clones of myself all the time to duel against. Why duel yourself?
The answer is simple, Duke. Since I'm the best duelist, there is no better sparring partner. But doesn't that mean you're only dueling a mirror match with no variety whatsoever, thus reaching a skill plateau? Shut the f up, Devlin! There is no deck better than Blue Eyes!
Watch and learn as our virtual Kaiba battles Total Defense Shogun!
While Total Defense Shogun resembles a very badass Dragon Quest character, I see 2 things that are just whack about his design. One is the swords. Clearly you like Zoro from One Piece because you have 3 swords, and I think it's just as extra here as it is over there. And secondly, I see you have the classical sword scabbard on the back, and while it does look cool, it doesn't work in real life with normal arm-length size swords, and it surely wouldn't work here because the swords on your back are the size of your body. You couldn't draw the sword a quarter out of its sheath like this. This is why Cloud Strife has no sheath. He just has magical anime glue that sticks the sword to his back.
For my first move, I summon Lord of Dragons! Next, I activate the Flute of Summoning Dragon! This magic card allows me to summon 2 more Blue Eyes White Dragons to the playing field! And now, I'll move my Deckmaster to the center of the playing field! Lastly, I'll use polymerization to fuse my 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons together to form Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon!
And of course the Big Five's little tutorial thing has Kaiba open the totally consistent Lord of Dragons, Flute of Summoning Dragon, Double Blue Eyes, and Polymerization starting hand like usual. And while accurate to Kaiba's usual starting hands, is still utter bullshit. Cyber-Kaiba. Also, I don't understand why Cyber-Kaiba didn't just play his Deckmaster since he just can and then just use Polymerization to fuse the 2 Blue Eyes in hand. No, I guess he just had to flex that he opened the Lord of Dragons and the Flute.
Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, I command you to attack Total Defense Shogun directly!
Okay, but on the very first turn, Kaiba's Deckmaster takes 1 turn kill to a whole new level.
Total Defense Shogun is also a Deckmaster. It has its own special ability. It blocks the attack and reflects it right back.
Well, luckily for Total Defense Shogun, his totally made-up ability just makes him a mere force with legs. Also, that was the dumbest tutorial ever! It was literally just random bullshit. Go! No, you. Damn it all!
You see, if your Deckmaster is destroyed, you automatically lose the duel regardless of life points.
Glace of the Snow thinks this new Deckmaster thing is the worst mechanic in the entire show, and I can see why. I'm personally a fan of it. I think it's pretty cool and kinda makes me think of GX when the monsters became real. But the busted ability and instant loss thing is kinda dumb. If I was in this world, my Deckmaster would be Exodia. I could just bring him out to the field and then boom, Exodia obliterate! Then it's GG easy Noah and the Big Five because Prodigy is the real king of games and used your busted system better than you. Glace says 2,000 sins for this one, and I'm actually in agreement. This is total BS.
We'll be dueling against every one of you. We need to take over 5 bodies,
Mr. Kaiba.
What are these overly used shots of the Big Five's mouths? If you told me that the guy who did these shots went on to work on Ariana Grande's Problem, I'd believe you. And while we're here looking at these guys' mouths, I would just like to say that the way their teeth is drawn, it just looks like they all have white mouthpieces. Evil laugh cliche.
Our analysis shows your chances of escape are 0%.
And of course the accountant makes number puns. You know, just because I'm a teacher and a programmer, I don't start each of my videos saying things like, hey all, Prodigy here, today I'm going to be teaching you all about Boolean variables, and I like to say that each of you have a Boolean called bool is subscribed, and I'd like to say that if it is equal to a 0, then hit that subscribe button to set it equal to a 1, or else it's detention in hell.
You 5 stiffs are going down.
Who's going down?
Joey, no!
As you can see, before the virtual dueling begins, we plan to separate all of you.
Serenity!
What? But what happened to separating all of them? Did the Big Five know that Duke and Tristan both have crushes on Serenity and weirdly decided to accommodate them?
I'd say your profits are plummeting.
Oh, this is great. And now they have Gansley, the business strategy guy, making profit puns. Next thing you know, Johnson's gonna be saying, "Order in the court," and Nesbitt's gonna say, "Time to engineer your grave sites." And Lecter will say, "And I was the one who was gonna be CEO."
Man, I don't think I'm in Kansas anymore.
Wizard of Oz reference.
I have them all right where I want them. And I'll be watching from the front row.
Noah has random BS cameras everywhere. This camera aiming at literally nothing if Kaiba and Mokuba weren't there. A camera aiming at also what would be nothing if Serenity's reflection wasn't there. A stairwell cam, a camera outside in the wilderness shooting what would just be the sky, and even a Yugi shoe cam.
Are you familiar with the phrase, "It's time to duel"?
Is he familiar? Bro, he's the one who says that.
Well, I've taken the form of the Deep Sea Warrior.
Okay, but if you can take the form of anything, why would you take the form of a monster that most likely smells like dead fish?
I know that behind your virtual disguise is nothing but a feeble old man.
Well, even if he was feeble and old, that wouldn't take away his dueling skills. For example, if Magnus Carlsen was feeble and old, he just wouldn't not be a good chess player.
I can't wait to be young again, but I will have to change that haircut of yours.
Threatening to cut an anime character's hair is on the same level of stupid as threatening John Wick's dog. Or anyone's dog for that matter. You just wouldn't survive that encounter because we'd be coming at you with razor blades and lemon juice.
You and your partners won't succeed in trapping my friends here. Mark my words.
I think Yamayugi got confused somewhere along the way and thinks he now has to physically fight the Big Five. Why is he squaring up like this?
It's time for you to build your virtual deck.
With what?
With these.
I think selecting your cards from this spinny menu thing is just really dumb, because why couldn't it just be a simple UI with cards? Imagine if fast food menus were like this. Ah, gosh darn, I wanted the mac and cheese, but I couldn't make up my mind in time, and now I gotta wait for it to come back around again.
What card should I choose to be my deck master? Kuriboh?
Interesting choice.
Hold on, I didn't choose him.
But Yugi, the Kuriboh is too cute. Why would you not want this little fuzzball as your deck master? Also, you need Kuriboh as your deck master, because how else are you going to give some random boy in 5 years a winged version of this thing without you bonding with it first?
I summon a monster face down in defense mode. And that's all for now. What fun would it be if I wiped out everything you own so soon?
Because you can't? It's only the first turn.
Listen, Gansley. Duel Monsters is about honor, trust, and respect. Not about business skills and making deals.
Well, if you play Duel Links, it is about skills, and you absolutely have to make deals with the App Store to buy them packs, buddy. Gansley showing off the heartless corporate heart he has by bending his Yu-Gi-Oh cards with this shuffle.
How cute.
They actually went and placed Serenity in the most serene part of this virtual world.
Come on out and duel! I'm not scared of your bald heads.
Bald heads, but only one of them was bald. Everyone else had a full head of hair.
Don't look at me like that, you oversized tin can, or I'll turn you into scrap metal so fast, your head'll spin. You got that?
Joey is so pissed that he starts trash-talking a suit of armor for some reason. Oh, look at that, Kaiba's emo again.
What's the deal with that Noah kid? I mean, who is he? And what's he getting out of all this? Seto, did you hear me?
Jeez, Mokuba is an annoying little brother. He asked many questions in a row, none of them with easy answers, and gave only a single solitary second of time before he said, "Hey Seto, did you hear me, big bro?"
Come forth, Hyperia!
This Hyperia thing looks like it stole Heihachi's haircut. Also, Hyperia, one of the only real monsters that Gansley uses in this duel, is for some reason a level 3 monster.
Whoa! If that axe is just an illusion, how can he be holding it?
Duke, you're a game designer. Haven't you ever heard of weapons in a game before? The way Kaiba runs here. Also, random door from Monsters, Inc.
Just what I needed. Fusing together Baphomet and Gazelle, the king of mythical beasts, to form Chimera, the flying mythical beast. Then I'll activate my magic card Quick Attack, allowing my Chimera to attack your Hyperia now!
Not only does Yugi top deck polymerization because he's good at the game, I guess, but he also pulled this Quick Attack spell card out of his sleeve, or maybe his dirty, cheating arse! because he had no such card in his hand earlier.
Thanks to my Deckmaster ability, I can sacrifice my 2 monsters to create Reflector Hole. Bounce his attack right back.
Oh my god, these Deckmaster abilities are already stupidly broken. This one is literally just a magical cylinder you can use at any time that isn't even once per duel. It's not even once per turn.
You haven't put me out of business yet, Gansley.
Wow. It seems that Gansley made so many business puns that now even Yugi's investing in them. Oh, now I'm doing it too! Cliche laugh evil.
And you haven't won your freedom from this place yet.
Don't threaten me, you little whippersnapper.
Gansley using words like whippersnapper to hammer home that he's the oldest of the big five.
Now I summon Ruklamba, the Spirit King.
But how can you summon a monster if my turn's not over?
Pretty much every Yugi Boomer's reaction to monsters that can float and summon upon destruction.
Or there was always another employee who could pick up the slack. And that's how I duel. If one monster has to go, I have another to take its place.
That's just sad.
No, what's really sad is that if Gansley managed to survive this encounter, I guess spoilers for later, he doesn't win, but he'd probably play even worse control decks like Labyrinth, Shaddoll, or f***ing Eldritch.
After our parents disappeared, there was no one left to take care of us.
Why say your parents disappeared? Just say they died. You don't even have to be detailed like the sub and say that your mother died while giving birth to Mokuba and that your father died in an accident. Even Disney movies that love to act like stereotypes don't exist say that parents are dead. Even Pokemon use the word dying to describe what would happen if the Charmander was left in the rain.
And if its tail flame goes out, it'll die.
The point is that people freaking die. What is so wrong with that, 4Kids?
Hey, Moki.
Now I'm convinced that Kaiba inspired the Moki Moki series of cards with his little pet name for Mokuba.
How'd you know I was out here?
Lucky guess. Look, pal, cheer up. We gotta make the most of this place.
Yeah, just a guess. The reason why Mokuba is here is because this is the park his parents took them to when they were still alive, and Mokuba is tormented by the kids who still have their parents. All scenes snipped out of the dub, by the way. Nonetheless, in his childlike way, he's trying to go back in time to when they were still alive, and the dub completely neuters this and leads us to believe this is just a park at the orphanage. And I'm not saying you need death to make a compelling storyline, but the unnecessary censorship here is just way too extra. That being said, I love how no matter what, Seto steps up and takes on a fatherly role for his little brother and builds a better future for himself and most of all his little brother.
Sorry, Moki. Checkmate.
Again? And in just 5 moves this time.
5 moves? Okay, sure, make Kaiba a good chess player to show that he's good at strategy, but don't bullshit the audience into buying that Kaiba has no pieces other than a queen and still managed to get checkmate all happened in 5 moves. Also, where is this king?
These visions must be painful to watch.
Yeah, I guess if you hate your own cherished moments from childhood.
But make no mistake, this outspoken business tycoon has a heart of gold. Here he is donating a portion of his winnings to a local orphanage.
Well, no, here he is holding his winnings. He's gonna donate to an orphanage later, you fake news.
The day I met my stepfather.
Again, pretty sure that's just adoptive father.
Let's just take a few pictures for the papers and I'll be on my way. Time is money, you know.
Generic, cold-hearted businessman chatter. Also, gotta love how it just so happens the one orphanage he's donating money to just so happens to be the one that Mokuba and Seto are at.
No one beats me, a chess kid. What makes you think you can beat me?
Because I never lose either.
Well, that's probably not saying a lot when your opponents are most likely other kids who'd rather play checkers and your brother who apparently moves pawns diagonally despite playing this game with you a lot.
Set us up in a quiet room now.
Sure, yes, right.
Who agrees by shaking their entire upper body like this?
This won't take very long, Junior.
Those were my thoughts exactly, Pops. It's your move.
Okay, now I'm starting to question whether or not Kaiba knows the rules himself, because white is always supposed to move first. And yes, I guess there could be a case made for friendly matches amongst friends where they can determine whether black gets the first move or not, but this is meant to be like a professional chess level match where white is supposed to get the first move. As someone who enjoys chess, I'm gonna send them for not playing Sicilian and instead opting for open game. Look, I'm just saying, Sicilian defense is a very fun defense to play as black, and C5 is not an out-of-this-world crazy response to white's E4. Prodigy, has anyone ever told you that you're a big nerd that deserves a kick to the mouth? Yes, actually. Matter of fact, I get both of those things from my girlfriend.
How could you beat me?
Now you have to adopt us like you promised, Mr. Kaiba.
That was the day I took control of my future.
Yeah? Well, it was also the day you stopped calling me Moki.
You mean you want to be called a dumb little brother pet name?
Now I'll play the magic card. Premature Burial.
Ah, Premature Burial. Now that's a nice little band card.
You should know that a good strategy takes time.
Nonsense. Stalling for time is a sign of weakness, Yugi.
That's pathetic.
No.
This little back and forth is essentially what was said between Duel Links fans regarding the new combo decks running out of time.
That floating hairball does nothing but spout gibberish.
Oh no! You don't go and hurt Kuriboh's feelings! Oh, poor thing. Do you want me to give the mean man 10 sins? Yeah? Oh, you're so cute. I don't know whether to feel impressed that they broke down a brick wall, or point out that Tristan tried to break down said wall with an axe. You know, I think I'll give them both 5 sins each for them being equally as bullshit.
Anyone!
Serenity went to the Prometheus school of running away from things.
Where did they install the brakes on this thing?
Goodness gracious, I'd like to know what product these anime characters have in their hair to keep it perfectly straight after being dunked in water.
Thank you, Duke. That was so brave.
Aw, please, it was nothing.
No, what was brave was Tristan jumping from a castle onto the back of a turtle rhino thing. He at least deserves some words of thanks for that.
Do you know how my business career began? With one lemonade stand that I stole from my neighbor.
Okay, the delivery of that line actually got a little laugh out of me.
Your life points are falling faster than the stock market of 1929, Yugi.
Historical putdown. Come on, Yugi, you're the protagonist! 90% of what this guy is doing is coming from monsters that don't exist and effects that he's making up on the fly. Look, just attack and then say something like, "Yes, but now my Kuriboh's Deckmaster ability activates! It allows me to reflect this damage right back at your life points, but that's not all, Gansley, for this damage is doubled! Now go, Chimera!" Or something like that.
This virtual world is supposed to be a total illusion. That's why I couldn't touch those flowers. So why does my face hurt?
Gotta love how this virtual world arc takes place in what is essentially an unbalanced and unfinished game. Because they apparently made collision for the big things like trees, the ground, and walls, but are missing for smaller things like the vegetation. And we know the game is unbalanced because the Deckmaster system has been around for only one duel and it's already broken.
Sounds like fun, right?
Laugh evil cliche.
Here goes.
Apparently Yugi's running some crystal beasts in his deck because his penultimate draw of this game is Rainbow Bridge. I mean, look at it. That's Rainbow Bridge.
No one ever got ahead in the corporate world by just waiting.
Oh yeah? Well, tell that to EA, who can fall asleep at the wheel, copy-paste FIFA every year, and still somehow be a multi-billion-dollar company.
Not now. I'm trying to concentrate on this duel.
I really don't get why they make a Tem misunderstand Kuriboh so much. Dimension Duelists think of this one, but yes, I don't understand why they do this, because it directly goes against the Tem's normal attitude of, "I believe in every monster in my deck." But now this one time with Kuriboh, he throws all that out the window and is like, "What the f***, Kuriboh? I don't understand you. You're useless and you're not letting me focus." Also, I didn't point this out until now, but I think it's strange that at this one point in time, Kuriboh sounds like its original Japanese saying, "Kuri kuri," instead of the, whoa. It does in the dub.
Hold on! I think Kuriboh's trying to tell us that Rainbow Blessing may be able to help after all!
Well, I have nothing to lose.
Literally, he actually has nothing to lose because Yugi's body is already taken since he's the one already inhabiting it. So, truth is, game was rigged from the start, Gansley. Even if you did win this duel against the bullshit protagonist, there was no way you were going to be able to steal his body because it has no vacancies.
You suits are wasting my time, so show your faces!
Brooklyn Rage!
I thought we had the latest virtual software, Seto, but this place feels way more real than any cyber environment I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes, and somehow you forgot Kaiba Corp used to be a military applications provider, which would explain this extreme realism and ability to tamper with your mind.
He doesn't know who he's up against. You hear that, Noah?
I will say right now that as a secondary antagonist, I think Noah is really cool. Just the way how he sits back and toys with the psyche of his victims to wear them down whilst he just sinisterly observes the effects is actually pretty cool.
Now that you've activated Kuriboh to defend yourself, you've introduced him to the playing field. That means I'm now allowed to attack your little furball. If your Deckmaster is destroyed, you lose the duel.
What? But you've played your Deckmaster ability multiple times, and you didn't say anything like, "Oh, and by the way, I'm on the field now, so don't attack me or anything, because I'll lose." Selective applying of the rules makes me so angry. Overly rickety, damaged, and or otherwise perilous bridge cliche.
Make your final pathetic move, Yugi.
And with those words, Gansley has officially f***ed himself. Because the last time that was said to Yugi, a fool got obliterated.
It doesn't matter what card you just drew.
Oh, hey, look at that. It's the menace of Duel Links and Rush Duel. How's it going, buddy?
Is that swift Gaia the fierce knight?
Laugh cliche evil.
When this card is combined with Kuriboh, a great power is released.
What?
And one send-off for the OG Rainbow Kuriboh. This one isn't a Rainbow Kuriboh. It's a lie. Apparently Yugi had to walk on the water to open this door.
Your profits are plummeting.
As my associates take care of business.
I'm Gansley, former Vice President of Business Strategy at Kaiba Corp. Let's get down to business. You haven't the business skills necessary to wheel and deal with a mogul like me.
So save your corporate speeches for the boardroom.
Such poor business planning on your part that you could have avoided this embarrassing loss. You know, Yugi, I'm a businessman. Build a powerful workforce, thus building up my workforce. I told you couldn't keep up with the big wigs. Thanks to my wise investments, I predict a major growth in power for me, while you sink deeper into debt. Interesting move, Yugi. But a very poor business decision.
You haven't put me out of business yet, Gansley.
In the greatest corporate takeover in history, then your resources will be completely wiped out. You'll never make it in the dueling business, kid.
You claim to be a successful man of business.
Strengthening my staff of workers. I've been in business a long time. All I have to do is invest a mere 800 of my life points. My workforce already outnumbers yours 3 monsters to 2. Do you know how my business career began? Your investments can transform into an unstoppable force. Your life points are falling faster than the stock market in 1929, Yugi. But in the end, big business always wins. My first order of business is to take down your obnoxious Celtic guardian. Even the most inexperienced people in the business world know when it's time to close shop. Then I'll seal this deal once and for all. No one ever got ahead in the corporate world by just waiting.
Misjudging the power of the small can be a big mistake, in business and in Duel Monsters. I guess they never taught you that on your way up the corporate ladder. So Kuriboh and I will just have to teach you this lesson the hard way, by eliminating
Boy, Kaiba. No one talks like that to Joey Wheeler.
Who do you think you are, Joseph? Batlin Boxer Uppercutter? Now, you may be the man, but Batlin Boxer Uppercutter you ain't. Also, why do I feel like Joey giving Kaiba an uppercut would be like a wet dream for him? Look, I know I'm talking a lot about this Joey uppercut, but let's just take a moment to appreciate how Tristan just freaking ate it. Even in sleep, this man's a tank. Serenity was somehow able to sleep sitting straight up with no back support at all.
Somehow I can understand the Egyptian text on the winged dragon of Ra. My computer network couldn't even translate it.
Should you really care? I mean, you already don't acknowledge your Egyptian roots, so just chalk this one up to you being a super genius with a 10-incher and win the God card.
There will be no laughter once I've banished you to the Shadow Realm.
You will be the one who's living in eternal darkness. Wait and see.
To no one's surprise, the battle between villains sounds just like this.
I will banish you to the Shadow Realm.
Yes, but I will haunt your memories, even if you kill me.
The shadows are hungering for your soul.
The darkness beckons your name.
Go, Slifer! The attack devastated him.
Really? Because from my end, he took it on the chin.
He will know what to do when Ra unleashes its rage. Or will he?
Why would you end your evil monologue with, or will he? That'd be like if Lex Luthor said, since I have created a kryptonite suit composed entirely of kryptonite, there is no way Superman can survive now. Unless he... Like, it just negates all the menacing stuff you just said.